When things become part of the mainstream lexicon, I think they can often become watered down or misunderstood. When I was watching some reality show, something I seldom do, a while back, and self-love was being conflated to using sheet masks and skincare. That's not self-love. I'm not saying that taking time for yourself to care for your body can't be an act of self-love, a way we show up to support and take care of ourselves. But if bubble baths and sheet masks were the path to self-love, the world would look like a very different place. Self-love is not a thing you do. It's a relationship to yourself that originates from an energetic opening of your heart. If you love yourself, you have a solid knowing within that you're a good person with a good heart and that you're worthy of love. This is not a knowing that originates from the intellect. It's a knowing of the heart. Most people are tied into cycles of addiction where they source their love from outside themselves. They could be sourcing their love from a partner, from their identity, from their boss, or from social media. Self-love is a well source that originates from within ourselves. It isn't dependent upon anyone or anything else. So if you go through a breakup, you lose your job, or your social media account is deleted, you don't lose yourself. I know this topic can be quite obnoxious for people who don't love themselves and are invested in maintaining their dependency on external sources for validation. There are strong defense mechanisms in place so we don't have to confront the truth within ourselves. I know this well from my own self-love journey. If we let in a little bit of the truth, it's like taking the red pill. We have to keep digging deeper until we get to the root. Most of us resist this process for obvious reasons. If you resist looking deeply within, it's usually because you don't want to be with the emotional pain that's buried there. And you don't want to make the changes in your life because those changes will stir up that emotional pain. Thankfully for me, no one was talking about self-love online, at least not in the places I hung out in the ethers, when I first found out about breathwork just under 10 years ago. I had enough of my own defenses holding me back from growing, but I didn't know anything about self-love, so I wasn't resistant to it. When I began my breathwork practice, I began the process of loving myself, but I didn't know it. I had no idea I didn't love myself until I dug deeper into the truth through my breathwork practice and saw that I was holding on to an identity of being a confident person who had something to offer the world. But I didn't actually love myself. And to be honest, I wasn't actually confident. I was emulating qualities I admired. I was acting. But the truth deep down was that I was incredibly insecure and felt unworthy of love. I didn't know that at first. For me, the process was one of peeling the onion. I felt safe enough to shed one layer, to see a little more of the truth, and then a little more and a little more. I did my best to hold on to anything I could that kept me out of confronting the truth that I felt unworthy of love. I did a few years of breath work, of going as deep as I was willing, and then I went through a dark night of the soul that was initiated through a blindsiding breakup. In that process, all of my defenses went down, and I was confronted with the truth of the beliefs I was carrying. I was deeply afraid that I was actually unlovable, and this breakup seemed to confirm that. So I embarked on a true healing journey, a journey back to myself, back to my own love. I reclaimed all of the lost parts of myself, the parts of me that I had unjustly believed were unlovable, deficient, wrong, or bad. I was given countless opportunities to continue to love myself, to validate the truth of my nature, to trust myself, to recognize my beauty and goodness, to deeply connect to the universe and the energy alive in nature. There are so many things to say about my self-love journey, and I'll share with you how you can learn more about it at the end of this episode. But what I want to say now about self-love is that it's for you too. I've had many people hear me speak about self-love over the years and reach out to me to tell me that they hated what I was talking about. They thought I was full of shit, or they completely rejected what I was sharing because they weren't ready to go inward and confront the truth within themselves. And then one day something shifted and they were ready. The seed had already been planted and they found their way back to this work. So I get it. If you're someone who thinks self-love is for other people, but not for you, if you're someone who thinks you love yourself because you're confident or you can't seem to access any ways you're insecure, maybe you do love yourself, who am I to say? But if you can't say that you fully, deeply know yourself, if you can't pinpoint moments in your past where you felt ashamed or hurt and haven't tended to those parts of yourself, if you know you're hiding something or compartmentalizing, if you don't have a relationship to your emotions, I have to say, I find it very unlikely that your heart is open and you truly love yourself. The world we live in is not designed to support a loving relationship to ourselves. The systems in place want us to be disempowered and dependent on them. When you can see this, it becomes a choice to stay hooked in or to become sovereign and self-generating love, which provides inherent self-worth, self-esteem, and generosity of the self. No one is immune from the repercussions of a lack of self-love. While everyone may not have the same story as me of being highly sensitive, disconnected from myself, and becoming totally lost, most people lack self-love. We each find ourselves grappling with the deeper implications of our inner reality at different times. Often when something big happens in our life, like our body expressing illness, a breakup, a loved one dying, losing a job, or a sense of identity. Even the people who you think are the most confident and put together can suddenly find themselves confronting the truth within themselves when what has been keeping the truth at bay is removed. If you hear people speaking about self-love and you roll your eyes or you push it aside as an issue for others, that's a big old red flag that you don't really love yourself. Maybe you don't know what love is. Maybe you've completely rejected the idea of love. Maybe you've gotten hurt, haven't we all? Maybe your heart is closed. Maybe you have been focusing on approval by performing your way through life. Your desire for you to confront your true relationship to yourself will be given to you in relentless opportunities throughout your life. I think it depends on each person's soul journey, how loud and clear that calling becomes. For me, a rug was pulled out from under me and my soul finally had its way with me. So lastly, if you're here with me, then it's a signal to you that there might just be something deeper that your soul is calling for. I know for me, my entire life changed when I loved myself. And just to be crystal clear, self-love is attainable. There are some streams on social media that make it seem like self-love isn't attainable or is only something available to the privileged. Everyone has the power to open their hearts to their own love. Breathwork is the best way I know to do that, and it's available to you anytime you need it. If you'd like my support in guiding you into and through your self-love journey, I created a self-study program called Good Love, and inside it is everything I've learned through my self-love journey. If you want to get started on your breathwork journey, you can download my gift, a 12-minute guided breathwork meditation called Breathwork for Opening. I'm going to close out this episode with a poem I wrote in 2016 called I Love Myself. I love myself. I love the choices I've made, all the ones that have spilt tears, bellowed laughter, and spouted anger. They have all led me to here. I love myself. I love my spirit, my soul, and my ego. I love any and every aspect that makes up this complex being of mine. I love myself. I love the way my eyes change colors, the auburn tint the sun beckons from my hair, and the beautiful bones that flirt under the surface of my skin. Every ounce of my physical form is perfect exactly as it is. This truth was true when my big heart sprouted in my mother's womb, and it will be true when my skin wrinkles with time, when my bones open their pores, and when my body breathes its last breath. It will always be exactly perfect. I love myself. I love the way my laugh falls out of my chest, the way my tears well when I feel someone's pain, and the way I'm willing to sop up my flaws with love. I love myself. I love the way my soul cries and that I have learned to hear it. I love the way my voice sometimes cracks when I sing, the way my hips and shoulders have decided they need to move to music every day, and the deep satisfaction my soul feels when I honor its wishes. I love myself. I love that I loved a dog so deeply I let it throw me off these scales. I love that I loved a man so completely it felt impossible to heal the wounds of his absence. I love that my heart has broken, that I have met darkness, and that I have been blessed with life. I love myself. I love that I have walked through a foreign land all alone, that I have made my own fires, and that I have slept under starry skies. I love that I have looked into the eyes of strangers, given love to lifeless bodies, and felt babies sleeping on my chest. I love myself. I love that my grandfather comes to me in my dreams, and that there are people in this world who know there is so much more. I love that coyotes show up on my doorstep, that trees have begun whispering hellos, and that the stars shift me into a state of awe that leaves fireworks in my chest and lumps in my throat. I love myself. I love that I choose to be vulnerable even when it's hard. I love the way I keep showing up for myself, the way I know how to sit in silence, and the way I'm learning to let go. I love the things I have decided are important, the people who always show up for me, and the home I have made my own. I love myself. I love that it's always okay, even when it feels like it's not. I love becoming a new person every day, a freer person, a lighter person, a more loved person, a wiser person, a more joyful person. I love changing. I love myself. I love the way I can feel my heart open when I really feel these words. I love the way my entire life changed when I began to breathe, when my breath opened my heart, when I learned to love myself. I love myself. I love that loving myself is a choice I get to make each moment. I love that I can let go of control and still be safe. That being exactly where I am is the most exciting place to be, and that I always find my way back to my own love. Thank you for being here with me. My next episode is called My 7 Rules for Running a Soul-Based Business, and in it I share the foundational ways I relate to my business and the core principles I make my business choices from.